Welcome to Fast Friday. Feels good to say that here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hi, folks. We go one more time before qualifying weekend. We've got a whole lot of action coming your way. 6 hours from now until 6 p.m. Eastern. We are ready to turn it up, and yesterday was an improved day on the previous two. We're getting better and better each time out with more on-track action. Hi, welcome. Lee Diffie, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe with you, along with Kevin Lee and Dave Burns and Dylan Welsh. We're building our family members as we get closer to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500. There's current weather conditions, of course. Weather is always a talking point here at Indy. It was yesterday. We had a brief rain delay, and I wouldn't even call it rainfall, like it was more like a sprinkle. And then we got going again for a final half an hour late in the afternoon. Quickest time yesterday on the board, of course, with a tow, was 228 miles an hour by Arrow McLaren's Pato O'Ward. And Josef Newgarden is showing us just how much that extra 100 horsepower does here.
So, guys, he lost over a mile an hour between lap 1 and lap 2. Second one was a 232.6, and that's what today's all about.
Today, starting lap 3,
is about finding that balance of pure speed as he goes back up to a 233.1.
Getting the tiniest bit of help from Pato O'Ward, who's just exiting turn 2 right now.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent gap, but there'll be just a little bit of help for Newgarden's top speed as that wake, that draft trickles all the way back about a quarter mile as Newgarden goes into turn 3, but the consistency is impressive. The conditions, of course, ideal right now, but the shell car starting things off fierce. And this is a mic drop for the rest of the field right now. If you're sitting down on pit lane, on the pit wall, or maybe back in Gasoline Alley, you're watching the monitors and you're taking a big swallow gulp when you realize, wow, it's fast this year. It's going to take something to make the top 12.
We go on board the United Rentals Honda. Let's go for a ride.
Like that little tweak, James. It looks like they put their weight jacket control on the backside of the steering wheel. It's just ergonomically probably a little more friendly as Graham works to the left side on turn in.
And it's always nice not having to pull your thumb off the grip. Kind of weakens your grip on the wheel. With a trigger kind of system on the back, you see those lights go on the right-hand side to remind him to hit the right weight jacker, get that right rear down. And then you'll see the lights on the left-hand side of the dash. That's a reminder to Graham to hit the left, get it back over to the left.
So, Diff, you'll see Graham ahead of, relative to Newgarden, about 2.5 miles an hour average slower.
Okay, now they're
doesn't
golfing.
seem like a lot, but I promise you it's going to be all right. This is when the stress begins. You go back, you say, well, the car felt pretty good.
just starting to slide on lap 4, basically. But, I mean, yeah, mid-31, I would say, is peak.
Meanwhile, at the opposite end of the spectrum, doing his first Indianapolis 500 campaign is NASCAR Cup Series champion and superstar Kyle Larson. Let's go for a ride.
Gray 3 at the line, green flag.
One thing I noticed yesterday was Kyle did not appear to be using the weight jacker yet on his qual sim. So we'll see if he gets on a button here out of turn 2. Doesn't appear like it.
Look, he's still learning as well. I mean, one of his laps, he got the shift pattern wrong. There's so many things going on in the cockpit during one of these qual sims that the driver has to get into that rhythm, get that muscle memory going. We talked about this a lot yesterday. When you hit the weight jacker, when you get your shifts, reminder from the pits, hey, use your bar, adjust the weight jacker if you need to. Tony Kanaan has been such a huge help to Kyle Larson, getting up to speed, learning the ins and outs of this place. Not many people are as familiar with the Speedway as that guy right there, Tony Kanaan.
Perfectly clean air in front of Larson, the only other car on track. Rinus VeeKay, who's over in turn 1 right now as Larson comes through turn 4. So this is a pretty good read. Here the revs drag down just a little bit mid-corner. Last lap,
White flag,
232.4. This lap, 231.9.
And look, he's hovering around the same zone as Rinus VeeKay at this stage on Fast Friday. And Rinus VeeKay has started on the front row the last 3 years in succession.
Not crazy about the air hose here right on his wrist, James. That's a little unusual.
A little unusual, a little uncomfortable, and I imagine very distracting. It seems bizarrely long. He must have one that hooks up.
I mean, imagine you go for a bar change with your right hand, and then you come back up, and that thing's flopped down.
Yeah.
It's little tweaks like that. You know, you're always looking for risk mitigation in every which way around here.
Gray 1 at the line, hold 6th gear, coast in.
231.2 the last lap for Kyle Larson. It's been 10 years since a driver did the Indy 500 Coke 600 double. That was Kurt Busch. So it's nice to be talking about it again. Super exciting. A week from Sunday. And just how will this guy go? Dave, here we go. The Pennzoil Chevy for Scott McLaughlin again. He's the fastest on the speed charts. He's down in 9th on the best 4-lap average, but he has cracked off the fastest speed so far today at 233.9 miles an hour.
Checkered flag.
Look at the turn 3 trap speeds.
Nice.
241.4 for McLaughlin. All Chevys on the list. James, had 10 Chevys make run and just 3 Hondas. Is that coincidence?
It seems, I don't know, what, 2's a coincidence, 3's a trend. 10, that seems like intentional. I'm not sure why the Hondas aren't running yet. Maybe it's got something to do with what Josef said. Conditions still too cool, almost too good in a sense to run right now to get an accurate reading.
Nice improvement there. 7th on the 4-lap average for Larson.
Got a little dodgy there mid-run, though. I think Kyle Larson's using the speed jacker, using the weight jacker for ride height control to try to get drag out of the car. And James, I think he made a pretty big mistake right here. I think the trigger's on the back like Graham Rahal. Watch the lights come on right here. You're going to see the 6 blue. I think he got to the jacker too early, and it started to push on him. He got a little wide, almost got in the fence, and then he comes back off it, and now he's going to go back on. And that's the kind of issue that can catch you out as a young driver. If you get to that speed jacker, he got to it mid-corner in 2, and the front end started to take off. And I think he was at that point trying to recover and figure out which mode he was in, as Tony, I think, is explaining probably something just that.
And again, that's why it is so important to get these practice runs in and get used to that running, get used to that. You got the muscle memory, the cadence. We're going to say this a lot today, guys. You know, we got 6 hours of watching drivers do these runs, but this is exactly what the kind of thing you're looking for.
Well, we're with Kyle Kirkwood, who finished his qualifying sim run. So where was that at for you on the conservative to aggressive trim level, and maybe what more do you want to do here when you go out again?
I mean, it was conservative, but I'm sure everyone's conservative right now. You know, we're definitely missing a little bit of pace there. I think, yeah, we left on the last lap. So the 4-lap average that you see on the screen right now isn't what we actually did. I've got an indicator saying we were too hot, but we actually weren't too hot. So our 4 lap's going to look bad. But we're still missing a mile and an hour or a mile and a half. So we'll dig into it, because yesterday we felt like we were really fast and then made small changes, and now we're not fast. So figure it out.
All right, a little bit of work to do for the Andretti cars.
Here is the DHL Honda in its official Indy 500 livery. Is out on track. We were talking about those elements, those magical ingredients that you have to have here, and one of them was smooth. This guy's got the smooth down. He's got the speed down.
He's got bravery.
He's got bravery, and he's got all 4. And he's got the consistency as well. So he can pick and choose which one of the 4 he doesn't want, but he's got the magic. He was just a little unlucky last year in pit lane, but stage day, Hinch, we were talking about this yesterday, just a truly miraculous comeback through the field last year.
Introduced himself to us as a rookie, as a self-described warrior. So with the rainbow colors here, and maybe tribute to the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Maybe we call him the Rainbow Warrior, and that's a nice pairing with Connor Daly's chosen footwear for the month.
Footwear and gloves.
True.
One lap.
While we're watching
Exit 2, going to make
Palou,
Oh boy.
Ferrucci just went across with a 232.8. Palou was a 231.3. It's a mile and a half an hour below what Ferrucci just posted.
James, you can say, well, it's the first run. You can say we're being conservative, but I don't think it's too early to start to panic. Get a little squirmy. If I'm an engineer, if I'm Chip Ganassi, if I'm Alex Palou, it's like, well, hang on, wait a second. What's going on?
6-time champion, 5-time Indy 500 pole sitter, 2008 Indy 500 champion, Scott Dixon, doing his thing. He is a qualifying master here. As we said, 5 times on the pole position.
2 of the last 3.
And 2 of the last 3.
4 of the last 9. This guy knows how to bring it on pole day. Let's go with the man in the PNC Bank Honda.
Nothing says ice in your veins like 5 poles at Indianapolis. James, you know better than anyone what the drama's like on pole day. So many things have to go right, but really as a driver, you are dancing on the tip of that hot needle for 4 laps, and to get it right more than anyone 5 times is just spectacular.
2 more of those race starts of the 21 that he has here at Indy have been on the front row, so 7 times on the front row out of 21 attempts.
And now you're thinking balance. You saw the right hand go down to make a bar adjustment, softening up the front row bar.
2.
And a final adjustment to the mapping, and now you send it in and feel, how good am I? And the answer so far looks pretty good because the hands stay consistent. Let's see if he makes an adjustment on the back straight.
2:16.6 warm up. He's hovering just at or above the white line through 2. I love that line in qualifying. Let's look at that top speed. It's hitting that 240. This is going to be a stout run. His first one was pretty quick.
Sounded like it just bled down a little bit with some understeer in turn 3. I look up and see what the wind is doing.
You see the thumb go for the weight jacker on the right-hand side, making a map adjustment here. Left thumb goes back in.
2:33.1 that last lap for Alexander Rossi. Still got the track all to himself.
This is a nice, honest run for the number 7. Literally no disturbed air on the racetrack. 99 degrees track temp, 73 ambient, wind at 6 miles an hour.
And if you think back to Newgarden's first run, he did have a little bit of a tickle of a toe from Pato O'Ward, but this is true. This is a clean, honest set of airflow for Alexander Rossi.
Pops down to 5th, right on the weight jacker. Holds 5th gear on the front straight there. Drivers usually have a little bit of a positioning on the racetrack where they'll decide whether or not they're going to pull the gear. If you get to the rev limit by that point.
Boy, this is strong. That was Connor Daly coming out of the pits, by the way, on the previous lap. But this is going to just be a good, clean, fast run by Alexander Rossi. Tremendous consistency.
I think what's so cool about this is I think back to the open test, and I was watching on Peacock, and we listened into a debrief with Rossi where he really felt like he had a slow car and he was concerned. Whatever they've figured out, whatever they've identified, it's been really good for the 7 because they're now the fastest of the McLaren cars so far in early running, and that's got to get Rossi excited.
Yeah, they had an idea of what that might be before they even left the test. Came back, all confirmed. You're having this shift pattern because it's a bit of a headwind into 1. That means a tailwind into 3. You're getting pushed along. You pull that higher gear. As the RPMs drop down through the corner, you'll knock down back to 5th gear right there.
This is going to be nice. This is going to put him right there with the 2 Team Penske's and his teammate Pato O'Ward. Less than a third of a mile an hour variation over the laps. And Alexander Rossi, P3 on the 4-lap average.
Nice and tidy. And again, probably the most honest run that we've seen in terms of no disturbed air from other cars on track, as close to replicating a proper qualifying attempt.
Alexander, how did you feel about your qual sim?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's the first real one we got without any snakes, so that's nice. we'll do another one here in a few minutes, and then, yeah, see what she's got.
Did you say without any snakes?
Yeah, our first one got aborted because there was snake internal one, which wasn't awesome.
I saw something on social media about this, so you noticed this. We're going to need to know more because I don't know that we've explored this on the broadcast yet.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like a drive shaft, so I kind of it was kind of sketchy actually because I didn't know what it was. But then when I hit it, nothing bad happened, so I just kept going. But then they eventually called the yellow.
On track. Here's Scott McLaughlin. I'm imagining, look to your right. There it is right there. Gave it a little tweak. Now, I'm not sure if the snake is still with us or not.
I can confirm the snake is not.
Yes. So now let's get back into it again.
Yeah, you want to try to build your driver's confidence up on Fast Friday. Young driver from California. Making his first.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Up and over for Nolan Siegel.
Just as I was saying, you want to build confidence up.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm all right.
Great to hear from Nolan Siegel. You saw that thing get wicked loose early in the corner, and no chance for him to hang on.
Amazed how calm he sounds on the radio. It just kind of speaks to that mental maturity of this young driver. We've talked about it a lot. He's so impressive behind the wheel, in front of a camera, you know, with a microphone in his face. You can't phase him. And even an accident like that, Townsend.
It's been a while since we've had a single car blowover like that. There's been a lot of innovations aerodynamically that IndyCar has introduced when the car gets backwards. This was a little bit more of a sideways issue. In fact, you can see in the floor those cutouts. There's a track worker kind of blocking the view right now, but the big cutouts in the floor of the car are specifically designed to help prevent that. As you can see, that big gaping area. We've lost our telestrator right now temporarily, but that's where that was introduced. Diff was specifically to try to prevent some of the blowover. Get a good look at the bottom of the race car, and the AMR safety team right there as always, and they'll slowly turn the car over, bring it down to the ground, and then work on extracting Nolan Siegel, who we've already heard from. Sounds like he's okay in the cockpit.
So through one here, turns into two. Man, it just...
Uh-oh. And over. Up and over on the side.
Yeah, it's a late snap, T-Bell.
It is.
That's a very late snap. It's a bit of a peculiar one, to be honest. Everything doing its job, though. The car's the airtime that thing got. Wow. The wall keeping the car out of the fence.
I didn't see those flaps release.
Yeah, they were there.
I just didn't see them pop up like we normally see as the car goes backwards.
They're already up.
Oh, true. That's the...
Yeah, it looks like the rookie stripe. Yeah. Let's look at the left-hand side of the race car. Something broke on the left rear. I think something broke on the left rear. Let's try to get a slow-mo of that. You can just see something. Yeah, look, the suspension's already bent.
It's already broken.
It hit the wall.
Let's take a look again at the start of that. Kind of zoomed in. That's why I said it was very late and a very sudden snap. Something looked off about that.
Yeah, but I don't think that wishbone would have collapsed.
Maybe
like
not
that.
The wishbone, but let's try to take a look again. All right, so we're focusing on the left rear corner.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Keep going.
Keep rolling. We're looking for...
It's loaded up. It's loose now. See the blackie that it's laying off the right rear. So it's in slip. Car was in slip. He was heavy into the throttle and was actually starting to develop just a little bit of wheel spin even coming off the corner.
Yeah. It didn't, I don't know. It's almost... I almost want to watch it in full speed again. Look at the sparks coming off that.
That quite a hit inverted when he landed.
And guess what we have to be thankful for yet again?
the aero screen.
Yeah, has been checked and released from the infield care center. So what did you feel there in the car that led to that incident?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I'll have to look at it closer. I had one snap of oversteer in the middle that I caught and then turned back in and spun, and I'm not exactly sure why. So yeah, here it is. Yeah, there's the first one, got a little high, and I don't know. So disappointed. Feel bad for the team that's been working so hard for so long for this, and just kind of threw it away. So yeah, not at all happy about that one, but we'll move forward and see if we can get back out and qualify for the race tomorrow.
As a rookie, I mean, what does not just a crash like this, but a crash in general do for you? I mean, is there a way to kind of reevaluate where the limit is, or how do you look at that?
I don't know. I mean, it certainly doesn't do anything good. You know, now I think we're going to probably have to go to the spare car, and we don't know exactly where that's going to be. And, you know, I'll look into what I can do differently. I'm fine. I don't, you know, I feel like I can go back out and we'll have a chance at making the race at least. But certainly a setback that we didn't need. So, yeah, my apologies to everyone.
How's my line in 3-4?
Getting closer to the wall before turn in, but it's a pretty good arc from there.
It's a strange question to ask on a warm-up lap.
Spotter and coach Bob Perona on the radio there to Marcus Ericsson, just talking about your line.
Wouldn't expect that until you're at full song, unless they've suggested an adjustment and he's going to use the warm-up as a way to visually try it out.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think that's kind of a good assessment there. As we look onto the timing stand, Eric Bretzman at the head of the stand.
Is that a byproduct of yesterday? Or just
well, no, yesterday was a race running crash where he's in traffic and trying to find air, and
this is quali mode.
232 into turn one.
And we definitely had a decent chunk of track temp gain as we see the sun. You can see the sun's out. It's on the racetrack, 112 degrees right now, but
still not seeing that big number that you need on back straightaway, James. 235, 236.
It's better. That's improving. So maybe they are kind of working up on the engine side.
We're talking about Marcus Ericsson and Andretti here. You know, backup car. I mean, you're running stickers every time. I know they got plenty of tires, but at some point, you got to start to assume that this is where they are.
That was
speed-wise.
That was close to his best speed today, 229.2, but still 0.2 of a mile an hour off. And he is in 28th position of the 34 on the 4-lap average so far today.
But it's also 4 miles an hour off of the best single lap pace.
Yeah. I mean, the thing just looks super draggy, right? I'm just watching that top speed number. I don't care, you know, as long as you're flat through turn 2, the speed should climb close to where you're going to get.
VMAX on this car, just not quite where it needs to be.
Way off. Done 27 laps too.
It's one piece of Will Power's puzzle that he would like to complete, because for the king of qualifying, he would dearly love to add an Indy 500 pole to his 2 championships and his Indianapolis 500 victory.
Definitely a cool thing to add on to the CV for this guy. He's having a pretty remarkable season as it stands right now, sitting second in points behind Alex Palou, only 12 points out of the lead.
With how many runner-up finishes? 3.
I was going to say almost all of them.
Yeah, 3.
Elevated, of course, to second place at St. Pete after the disqualifications of his teammates. Then finished second on track behind teammates Scott McLaughlin and Barber. Behind an impressive drive from Palou at the Indy GP. Ooh, little hesitation there from Will. Had to kind of think about it on the wheel.
Look at those. Look at that speed. 233.8, 233.4.
And for the time of day, to Townsend's point earlier, I mean, track temp, a solid 15 degrees hotter than when Newgarden did his time, McLaughlin shortly after. So this is a very stout run from Will Power.
Expect this to be a little bit slower. It's about a mile an hour slower. Yep, 2:32. That was because of the lift. We were riding on board with him. You heard it.
That little bobble in turn 2. Much more margin on the exit this time. Expect the speed to maybe creep back up a little bit from the 2:32.3 he just ran.
As far as outright speed on one lap, it is 1, 2, 3. Team Penske, McLaughlin, Newgarden, Power. That's on the single lap run, single lap speed. 4 lap average for the Verizon Chevrolet as Will Power comes to the line. That lap there, 2:33.0, and an average of a 233.1 miles an hour. That's impressive at this time of the day, almost halfway through this Friday, Fast Friday practice day.
Our average over 4 laps.
Look at 2:42 out of Newgarden.
Oh my goodness.
Get up in your seat and hang on. The Shell Chevy is a rocket out there.
We were talking so much about how the temperatures are worse for fast runs right now after that run from Power. How impressive it was.
2:34. The first we've seen there. 2:34.2. Unreal from Josef Newgarden.
Nobody else on track right now. This is a true, honest read. I'll say it again, Hinch. Notice serve to the field. 3 hours ago, 3 hours later, it doesn't matter. The balance looks great. This thing is lighting up IMS.
Cool track conditions, no problem. The speed's there. Warm track conditions, no problem. Even faster.
Calm voice of Jonathan Duguid on the radio. 2:33.937. This is going to be some 4 lap average if he keeps it here.
Diff, look at how stable the car is, how crisp the line is. It seems to be arcing like a pen to paper. It's just perfectly consistent. The hands look calm.
I love that shot out of turn 2 to see how much the front of the car is driving the car out to the wall versus how much the car sort of four-wheel slides up the racetrack. And right now, Josef putting that race car exactly where he wants it. The race car is responding to his inputs exactly how he wants it to.
Unbelievable. Last lap, 2:33.9 as well. The consistency, incredible. And that's what you want to hear from the timing stand. Little reminder, the tools, maybe one little skosh of front bar adjustment to get the front to work as the tires degrade. One more corner to go on this run. Easily the best we've seen all day.
Watch this. On that last lap, those last lap 2 and 3.
Coming to the checker here.
0.04 of a mile an hour difference. Consistency has been incredible. Josef Newgarden, a 4-lap average of 234.
Josef, let's go map 8 for me here. Cool down lap. There's only other one car on track right now.
Goes faster on lap 4 than he did on 2 and 3.
That is almost the pole time from last year of Alex Palou.
Green flag on the sim for Alex Palou. He sees 234 miles an hour as he arcs it into turn 1. Throttle wide open. Balance looks pretty good. You have to watch the speed down the back straightaway and see how that builds.
Yeah, to your point, Townsend, I mean, you think back the last few seasons, this team has rolled off easily.
Look
we
at
got
this motor
smoke.
issue.
We got smoke.
Right side header is showing a little flame.
Motor already shut off. On the clutch, just trying to get it coasted back home.
This will lead to a yellow and a track inspection, certainly to see if there's any oil getting laid down on the racetrack or on the apron.
Yeah, from, I don't want to say from bad to worse, but from not great to worse. Again, compared to how this team has rolled off the last 3 years here, they have been undoubtedly the quickest. That pace not seeming to be there at the moment, and now this, potentially some sort of issue with the power unit for Alex Palou in the 10 car. So not sure exactly what it was.
Just kind of lets go there on the back straightaway as he comes out of turn 2, and you'll see the small flame on the right-hand side.
But it almost coincided with when he drove over that oil dry from Nolan Siegel's wreck. You weren't sure if that was just quick dry going up into the air, but investigating now happening down in the 10 pit.
That was a black, white, and red car, so that is the crash car. The good news is the engine's already off it. It looks like the whole back end, in fact, has been removed and going on to that replacement tub, and maybe we can learn more about the situation from Kevin Lee.
Yeah, that's the process. They've got the Honda engine already switched over. So at one point we were hearing it might be the 51. It's indeed going to be the 18. So it's the car Jack Harvey, who is back here as well, also helping out. The car that Jack Harvey, there it is, drove on the road course this past weekend. So not only are they changing the engine, this was a road course car. So it's a different entire configuration. So even if there was no crash issue, that would take a while to get ready. There's no huge urgency right now. Now they're going to have to work with pretty good pace just to be ready for tomorrow morning. So there's no thought at all about trying to get back before 6 o'clock today. That's just not very realistic in this circumstance. So hopefully it's not a late night or a super late night, and then they're ready for 8:30 tomorrow morning. But that's the process going on. And now it's just about getting a car ready and then rebuilding the confidence of the young driver. Stay back in the Chip Ganassi Racing Garage, and I haven't found a Honda rep yet to get confirmation on what happened to Alex Palou's engine, but we'll just do a little investigation and deducement. So there's a Honda being prepared. That's Mike LeGarrette, one of the leaders of Ganassi, who has a lot of experience, has worked in Formula One as well before. So the way I understand it, this process, and by the way, let's do a little walk and talk. So let's go down, and it's like 3 or 4 garages away. Let's be very careful because these front wings are very expensive here. So we'll tiptoe around that, and we'll see where they are in the process on the number 10 DHL Honda. So they're at this point now just simply getting that engine out of there. And the process becomes expedited a little bit because essentially it's, for lack of a better term, the spare engine is dressed. So that's sometimes what takes it from maybe being an hour and a half process to sometimes in some teams it might take over 3 hours, but they've got all of the extras, and that engine, the new engine from Honda, is ready to be strapped in an HRC here in just a matter of moments. So the realistic goal is to see Alex Palou back on track before the end of the day. I bet they'll be ready by a little bit after 5 o'clock to see where that's at for tomorrow morning's practice.
Here's Pato O'Ward, currently 7th with a 4-lap run earlier of 233 miles an hour.
Got to be getting excited if you're Arrow McLaren right now. If you look at the speed out of the rookie Kyle Larson, Alexander Rossi, Pato O'Ward, Callum Ilott. Bit of an outlier right now with the team down in 21st, but the other 3, including this guy, I mean, look at the front straightaway speed, 238 going into turn 1. That's into the headwind. I think I saw 239 for a split second. Hands are busy.
Yep.
Not unusual for Pato O'Ward, but the balance looks pretty good. He gets on that speed jacker. He's going to seemingly hold it down and then maybe release it into turn 3.
240 there at the end of the backstretch into 3.
This could compare pretty well to what we saw at a Team Penske earlier.
Good looking first lap at speed.
Grade 3.
What's the speed?
233.3. Strong. Not quite Newgarden strong,
no.
But right now he's in his own zip code of performance.
If he can keep this up, he'll be right there amongst the top 3. Power and McLaughlin just over 233 mile an hour average. He got a little wide out of 3 there.
He's walking a bit uphill. Might be a little too trimmed. Let's see if that speed let down at all. Last lap, 232.9. Bit of fall off there, about 0.4 of a mile an hour.
And this is what you were talking about, Townsend, so many times. Oh boy, that was close.
Man, the radius,
both ends.
It's just really, he's having a hard time finishing the corner. It gets into the middle just fine, but as it loads up laterally, It's like the whole car's just walking up. I think he's probably taking a little too much downforce out, would be my guess on this run.
It didn't look super comfortable that time through 3 either. Out of 4, this would be the conclusion of lap 3.
1 more to go.
He's lost mile an hour on each lap. A couple of dicey moments. That was 2:32.0, so down again.
You see that? Oh,
I was going to say, you could see it didn't look quite as good as it did that first lap, and then he about hit the wall off of 2.
Anytime you get to the apex and you see more steering requested middle off, let's see what happens here with the tailwind. Not so bad that time, but turn 2 that was sketch. Looks like he stayed flat.
Yeah.
Over to the checkered flag, grade 8.
And that was even slower, 2:31.5. So 2:32.5, the average for Pato.
And speaking of teammates and teammates who have some unhappy cars, we were just talking about Takuma Sato back there, but his teammate Christian Lundgaard maybe a little bit happier. Dylan, what do you know?
Well, he said he had a little bit of a moment on his run there. So explain that to us and how you're feeling as well about the car.
No, I think we honestly feel pretty good. I think I need to really understand what's going on with the 75. They haven't really seemed to be able to run today. I need to understand what that is. But no, we made sure that we got one run in and just to see where the pace was, because I think in the past couple of years we haven't really been able to gain speed throughout the day, and the first run was kind of just what we had, and then we went slow after that. And I think this year we're seeing the changes that we're making to the car is actually making it faster. It also makes it tougher to drive. And we wanted to do a 4-lap run here, but I think the wind gusts at the moment. I got through turn 2 and I had a massive push. Obviously, this is the day where you don't really want to end up with half a car, so we just came in and we're discussing it, but I think we're in the right direction.
So Takuma all week was the one that was kind of working on the qualifying setups, and I'm assuming you guys were just kind of strictly race runs. So was that an adjustment to just kind of bolt on the qualifying setup and go fast right away without any laps in it maybe a day or 2 before?
I mean, obviously it's all changed. It's all been upside down with the weather. You know, Tuesday we wanted to do qual runs. We did one run, the rain came, and Wednesday we started out with a qual run, and then it went a little back and forth. And Takuma obviously being primarily don't get run down here.
It's tight down here.
Oh yeah. Takuma primarily doing qualifying runs, and he's actually been quite happy with what he's had. But for sure, I think that the 45 high V cars has been one of the better ones. I think it's the 15 and the 45. I think we're feeling more comfortable. I think Pietro and Takuma are a little bit on the back foot right now, but they'll get there. You know, Takuma's won this race twice, so I'm not at all worried for him.
Thanks, Christian. Kevin.
That's Takuma Sato, you see, who just found some pace. 2:32.388 jumps him up to 16th just like that. He's in the middle of a qual sim, so obviously the veteran knows what he likes, knows what he wants, and even though the car seemed to have outright pace, the handling wasn't there. Sato knows they cannot afford throwing it into the wall, so he has been meticulous of telling them what he wants, and they might be finding it. Now, with that transfer, Graham Rahal just pulled into his pit box, and listening to his debrief on his scanner on the cool-down lap, he sounded frustrated. He said just we're simply sliding through 2, don't have grip, and mentioned the lateral alignment, I believe is what he said is an issue, Hinch.
Lateral alignment.
So that's what I was asking you. I'm not 100% certain of that. I've not heard that before. Have you?
That's a new term for me, but Marco Andretti was also talking about standing up on corners. Here, let's listen in to Graham. So as he was pulling out of pit lane, a little bit of a tight, close call here. You see power there.
Whoa.
Felix Rosenquist in the fast lane. The 28 crew ready to take Ericsson's car back to the pits, just waiting, watching the almost collision happen. Look, Felix had to take some avoiding action there.
And these two have well and truly separated on track. Power's going into turn 3. Felix is on the short chute between 1 and 2, so there's plenty of real estate between them.
Another guy that I talked to just a few minutes ago was Marcus Ericsson. He was walking quite purposefully back to Gasoline Alley. Did not look like he was having a whole lot of fun. He said his car was really loose on that last run. I asked about just kind of pure car speed. He said, we really just don't know yet. We've got to get the balance right first to know exactly where we are on straight line speed. But I mean, you look at 32 laps and Marcus Ericsson and Andretti Global coming back from that crash. They are dead last right now, and they've got some questions and some concerns.
Some big concerns. There's no way around it. Ed Carpenter using every inch of racetrack off of 2.
I did also go look at the damaged race car from Nolan Siegel. That was quite a bit more tub damage than I expected. The front of the bulkhead where the nose cone mounts, I mean, it ripped all kinds of core tub material out. It was amazing to see the aero screen survive like it has. But let's learn more about a two-time winner. Kevin?
Yeah, it looks like Takuma Sato might have found something there. What were you dealing with early, and how was this most recent run?
In the early one was a little bit unexpected issue. So there was something it's not right on the car. Okay. I felt it, so I did a 2 attempt, and obviously I bought it. And then I go back to the garage, and we found a critical part was missing. So we put it back, and then we just checked the run now. So it wasn't too bad.
So I don't think you did 4 full laps, but was there any reason you aborted early? Did you learn what you needed to learn in the 2 or 3 that you did?
Yeah, every outing you learn a lot, and you did 2 laps and 3 laps, and now I need 1 more lap. So just to get the balance right.
Are you trying to get 1 more run in before the day's over?
Yeah. I think at least we do 2 more attempts.
Okay, thank you, Takuma Sato. Car's back in the garage. Be back out soon. By the way, one we might see soon is the number 10 of Alex Palou. It's all put back together. The gearbox is on. They might be ready to roll out in the next 15 minutes or so.
We're wearing him out, poor guy. He's been gracious with every interview we've done, though, and done for the day here. So first Fast Friday, first big boost day. What was the most challenging part of today for you, though?
Not like it was less than what I expected. I expected it to feel like, you're going way faster than before. But surprisingly, I think when the balance is okay and the grip is still there, it definitely feels faster, but it's not like scary fast, thankfully. So, that was good. I just think our balance was pretty comfortable, so I was happy about that. We had 1 run where we trimmed out some, and the sun came out, and I was like, okay, maybe I can kind of feel the rear, being closer to the limit. But overall, happy with the day, happy with the speed. It's hard to say kind of still where you're at yet because I feel like every run there's some bit of toe. But I think the good thing is just the balance seems comfortable. So, I don't feel like I've got a bunch of understeer or tight for the stock car racers listening, but and I don't feel super loose either. So it's pretty balanced, which is nice.
So tomorrow and potentially Sunday, if you do have to really kind of trim out to go for a good qualifying run, do you feel personally comfortable with that?
I don't know. I think you just kind of got to, I guess, play it by ear and see how much you're off or whatever. But the Penske cars seem really fast. Rossi, I feel like, seems fast. I feel like the McLarens are next best maybe to the Penske cars. So, yeah, I think just got to, just kind of see where you are on speed and then adjust. But I don't know. I felt like the 1 run where I felt closer to the limit, I would have made it a 4th lap. But I don't know. I guess that's not a fun feeling, you being on the limit, I guess, at this place. But overall, I thought it was a decent day and good to have it go smooth for once. With no weather delays or anything pop up. So just happy about today.
What goals for this weekend do you have? What makes it a good weekend for you?
I'm not sure. I think it'd be pretty neat to make the Fast 12 and then the whatever they call Fast 6 maybe after that. I think that'd be pretty neat. But being a rookie and all that, I don't know if that's to be expected. But it would be pretty cool, to make that and line up in the front couple rows of the race. But Just want to get a good, smooth, run in and make the show first. Being the top rookie, I guess, would be cool in qualifying as well.
All right, good day for Kyle Larson. They're done here with 40 minutes to go. He's the second fastest on 1 lap speed and in the top 10 for 4 lap averages as well.
I would say that's pretty impressive. He put on a pretty brave face. So warm-up lap was 220 miles per hour.
A little bit of a lift on the exit of 1 there, but that trap speed going into 1 much faster than what we've seen out of this car in its previous runs.
A little bit of help there from Alexander Rossi, it looked like, who comes to pit lane now. 238, 239 going into 3, but what I didn't like is the back of the car looked a little squirrely through the middle to exit of 1. That's something that Ericsson can adjust around with the cockpit controls. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that the tires appear to be peaking on lap 2, not 1.
All right, a 232.388, much closer. And that was with
speed in front of you.
That was 2 little lifts getting up to speed in front. That's Catherine Legg. She is on a warm-up lap. Again, this is very frustrating for Marcus Ericsson with the day he's had to have a car be sent out right in front of him.
But at least he gets a feel, and hopefully it's a positive feel.
It's definitely better. He's definitely feeling better. He's got more just pure pace in it. We were commenting on how we were seeing 232s as a top speed. He's bailed out on this run.
Well, he went from 34th and last on the single speed chart to 20th. So that's a huge leap, but he wants to stitch together 4 laps, and watch the reaction here on the timing stand.
Yeah, that's to the 51 being sent out. Again, just want to be clear. Nothing against Catherine Legg. This is not nothing against Graham Rahal earlier in the day.
This is not qualifying blocking.
The drivers don't have a say in when their car gets launched. That's purely on the stand. But as Townsend said, all the gentleman's agreement goes out the window, and it's every car for themselves at this point of the day. So Catherine, being sent out, not of her decision or accord, and just ruining the run for the 28 car. You saw the exasperation on the stand of Marcus Ericsson. They've had a heck of a day. The last thing they wanted was this run to be interrupted, but 38 minutes, plenty of time to go out and give it another whirl.
Oh, hopefully they hold the basket high. Keep it a fair draw, as Alexander Rossi has quite a moment exiting turn 2. You see the lap 1 time was a biggie, 233.8, but something got squirrely there. I assume that was a balance-related issue.
It's just a little wiggle late in the corner. Well, we did have maybe some traffic we're hearing.
Yeah, there's a car up the road, but probably
otherwise finish in pit.
6, 7.
No. Copy.
6, 7 seconds up the road, but that's how sensitive these things are at the limit.
But with 18 minutes left, let's go for it. Sun shining here in Indy. Fast Friday, happy hour, and there's still time on the clock, so let's get into it.
.231.5 across the line for Fittipaldi. He runs almost Dixon levels of right hand down on that steering wheel. Not quite Dixon level. Reminder from the team to use weight jacker for understeer.
Thing looks pretty good.
Isn't it amazing when you think your day's done and then you can have a run like this and glean something from it, get a little confidence boost from it, heading into the most important 2 days in the lead up to your second Indy 500 campaign. 231.5, 231.3 miles an hour. And think about what's asked of the driver, not just the team, but they have to check the car out and make sure it's okay. And when they do say, yeah, it was an overboost issue, we can get you back out there, you've got to go from semi-relaxed mode back into fighter mode and come back out here and be ripping off laps in the 231 mile an hour range, 231.0.
231.3 average would put him somewhere around 21st, 22nd. Safely, quote unquote, question mark in the show. That's, you know, kind of a tough one to be able to quantify today without knowing the conditions tomorrow.
Last time I checked, it didn't look like we were expecting much in the way of increased wind speed. That's always a big one as well, in addition to the temperature.
All right, so that jumps the 30 car to 22nd on the 4-lap average. That'll do, right?
I say safely question mark in at that point, but yeah,
that'll make him sleep better tonight anyway.
Hey, look, compared to, again, where this team was a year ago, big step up. So only 3.5 miles an hour.
It's tighter.
It's much tighter. Much tighter. Now, that's the 30th, because actually that's what we lock in tomorrow. The last row does not get confirmed until Sunday. You need to be in the top 30 to be guaranteed in the show after qualifying tomorrow, so that's why we're only going down to 30.
A couple little puffs off the back of Palou's car there exiting too. I'm going to say that's just bottom of the floor touching as he builds some tire pressure.
Same scenario as we take a look at this, see if you can see what Townsend was referring to. There we go.
That could also just be, you know, with new motors, sometimes there's, yeah, or wrapping. Some, you know, sometimes there's some things that smoke a little bit when they're run for the first time. Obviously, nothing
like every appliance salesman I've ever talked to. It's normal.
Where are you buying your appliances, bro?
The wrong place,
apparently. But it doesn't seem to be concerning anyone on the timing stand of the 10 car. Decent top speed into 3.
And just a bonus too after a frustrating day and a lot of time back in the garage area. The Chip Ganassi squad, Alex Palou, is making the most of this final quarter of an hour.
Hey, 231.9, considering its first run on this engine, that's pretty stout. There's definitely room to tune that thing up, I would think. So cautiously optimistic that it's all coming together okay for the 10 car.
And fellas, the racetrack is busy. Kyle Kirkwood is out there. Takuma Sato is out there. Who else? Ryan Hunter-Reay, or is it Connor Daly is out there?
Marcus Ericsson.
Marcus Ericsson is out there. It's busy now in these final 7.5 minutes.
And that'll probably be the last run of the day for Catherine Legge. So that can make for some sleepless night before the first round of qualifying. Kevin, what can you tell us about Connor Daly?
He's also back out there on finishing up his warm-up lap, just trying to find some clean track. And there's a lot of concern in the Dreyer and Reinbold Cusick Motorsports camp. If you look at the timing sheets, the only Chevy that is below 27th is the number 24 car. And Connor told me as he hurriedly got in the car, we had a huge unexpected oversteer moment in the second run. Talked with the team, they went back. They can't really figure out why that happened. They've tried a lot of things. They hope it was some sort of anomaly, but they're out there just essentially hoping that they got it right at this point, but they haven't been able to exactly diagnose it at this point. So far, Connor has not said anything negative on this run.
Well, he's probably saying something negative right now about the number 8.
He said traffic. That's why he backed up. Yeah, it had nothing to do with the car. He just said traffic, so he had to back up.
It's just that time of day, guys. This last hour, hour and a half gets a lot busier. Townsend's point, you know, everybody's out there trying to salvage these last runs.
Well, now you're like, okay, what do I do? I've kind of burned my new tiredness. I'm in traffic. I got a car behind me with Takuma Sato. We're out of time. Probably can't get another run in. And you can see Dennis Reinbold and Don Cusick probably thinking the same thing. Like, do we keep Connor out there? Are we going to get an accurate read on potentially any improvements? But now 2 days in a row, Connor had the suspension issue yesterday with the upright failure. That was a surprise. He had this oversteer moment that's got everybody scratching their heads. So it looks like Connor's going to stay out, try to gather some sort of a feel but it's going to be suboptimal going into Friday night.
Unfortunately, Connor Daly wasn't able to confirm whether they have solved all their problems. As he came down on the cool-down lap, he just said, that was a mess, that was a disaster, but not our fault. So it kind of sounds like he doesn't know whether they're sorted. They did do, I think his third lap was about a 2:30.3, so he's getting close, but they'd still like to know a little bit more.
There's nothing about that line that I like when I watch it, but I'm not going to second guess the winningest Indy 500 driver in this field.
Oh, whoa, very high.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, you're starting to get a little.
You were looking down at your notes there, Townsend. You would have not loved what we just saw in turn 3. I don't know how the car sticks up there.
I don't know. I mean, there's no rubber up there.
Way higher than Ericsson did yesterday.
You know what's up there? There's dust. There's dirt. There's probably snakes.
To be fair, he backed out of it
He's
because
out.
there's probably snakes.
3, 2, 1, and the clock goes to 0, folks. That was Fast Friday. Now, Graham Rahal is out on the track and will be the final car at speed.
Checkered flag displayed for the 15. 229.2.
Aaron Likens, the flagger, up in the stand there, enthusiastically waving the checkered flag on the final car of the day. Final car of practice week, guys. Now everything matters. Everything counts going into this weekend, all on the line as you look at the menu for tomorrow.
Yeah, here's what we got coming up your way. Quick practice, 1 hour, early tomorrow morning, 8:30 to 9:30. And then at 11 Eastern, live on Peacock, we go into qualifying mode. Let's turn the page and show you Sunday, because this is the defining day. At noon to 1 is the Fast 12 practice. Then it's the last chance practice. And then at 3 to 6. Oh boy, that is going to be a thriller at either end of the field. All right, so let's show you the synopsis of today. After 6 hours of on-track action, and this isn't fastest speeds, this is the fastest 4-lap average speeds. And 1, 2, 3. Team Penske, Josef Newgarden, Scott McLaughlin, and Will Power lead this field.
And Chevy owning 8 of the top 10 spots for that 4-lap average. Rosenquist and Kirkwood, the 2 Honda outliers.
9 of the top 12. That's what people are going for tomorrow. You want to be in the top 30 to be in the show, in the top 12 to have a shot at pole on Sunday. And as we head down, this is the end of where you'd see drivers locked into the show tomorrow.
2 Indy 500 winners on that page there in Takuma Sato and Marcus Ericsson. There have been stories up and down this field. It was a highly eventful day for young Nolan Siegel, who had a big crash, went up and over. He's okay, but the team are working hard.